I often get asked why I believe in conspiracy theories. One of the reasons is because I've lived through one. I've seen it firsthand how it goes. And let me share this story with you because I want you to understand that these politicians and corporate America, big tech, they don't care about you. So in 2003, my boy Tyler had a brain tumor, diagnosed with a brain tumor. He went through chemotherapy, radiation, and by the way, they messed up the radiation. They gave him an adult dose, started him on an adult dose. And then after they realized that, they told us, which was fine. They said, hey, we screwed up. We gave him an adult dose of radiation. He needs a child's dose. We said, okay, we understand. So they said, we'll finish it out. Well, they ended up finishing it out, but they started the cycle all over again with a child's dose. So he got, instead of adjusting it, he got a child's dose and half of an adult's dose of radiation. And then after he went through all that, he was doing well, doing better. And about a year, almost a year later, we're going back for checkups. He's cancer free. The doctors were awesome. They got the tumor removed, his brain tumor removed. It was a medulloblastoma. They got 100% of it out. The chemo and radiation seemed to work. Everything looked great. A year later, his slides showed, his MRI or his CAT scans and MRI showed that he had a recurrence of cancer in his brain. So we went back to the same doctors, and they said this is a clinical trial we can try. So what this is we've exhausted the protocol, which means we've used up everything that we know to do. We're going to try stuff that's new. That's not been basically a test subject. Your son's going to be a test subject. So we agreed to it reluctantly, but we didn't know what else to do. You're at the mercy of the physicians in the hospitals, and you think they have your best interest in heart. There are people out there who do. There are nurses and doctors who do have your best interest in heart. We met one fantastic doctor. He's an intern, and he absolutely adored my son Tyler, and he even named his firstborn son Tyler. So there are some good people out there, but these people at the top of the food chain, they don't care. It's all about money. It's all about their next step, their next promotion, the next level. So the doctor that was working with us said, here's a great clinical trial that should fit the type of cancer he has. And he went through 9 weeks of chemotherapy, and he got all the side effects, and none of it worked. And the slides, the scans, they got worse. And they said, we think we've done all we can. We're going to start hospice care, or they called it compassionate care, until he passes away. At the time, and this is in my book, I talk about this in the book, but I don't talk about what happened afterwards. So this is what happened after this part. So my ex-wife had decided she wasn't giving up, and I'm glad she did. I was listening to the doctors, and I had given up. I'll be honest. I didn't see a good outcome for this, and I was more concerned about, as they said, making him comfortable. So she sent out all of our information, all of Tyler's information, to hospitals all over the world, including St. Jude Hospital. And St. Jude called us back and said, hey, we need to see your son. We need to see you guys. We don't even think he has cancer this time around. I tell you this story to get to the conspiracy part of it. St. Jude, with their methods, they cured him. He did not have cancer the second time. The first time he did. He definitely had a tumor. He had cancer. We eradicated it with radiation and chemotherapy, even though the doctors there said they screwed your son up. First of all, they gave him too much radiation. Second of all, the clinical trial he took, he's got all the side effects, everything bad. He lost his motor skills. He lost a lot. He didn't even need that 9 weeks of the clinical trial. Later I found out that the doctor that recommended this clinical trial gets X amount of dollars for every clinical trial that he puts a kid on. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. And it's not a $500 bonus. It's a $20,000 bonus, $50,000 bonus, $100,000 bonus. Depends on the pharmaceutical company. Big Pharma doesn't care about you, not one bit. No, you're just a number. You're just a number. It's all. You're just money, a way for them to grow, to make their shareholders happy. I promise you that. And this video might get taken off YouTube after it gets out, but I wanted to share it with you. Same thing for politicians. They don't care. They just don't. After St. Jude got him better and got him back to normal, and he lived, even though the other doctors said he wouldn't live. And by the way, the other doctors fought us tooth and nail when we told them we were going to St. Jude Hospital. They said, no, don't go, don't go. They took their time releasing records. They didn't release all the records. And the ones that they did release, well, they weren't the best. You know, there's parts missing and so forth. So, after talking to some more people, some in the medical profession and in the malpractice field, we come to the conclusion that we should sue for Tyler, because Tyler will never work. Tyler will never have a normal life. Now, he was 10 years old when all this happened. He was 8 when he had the brain tumor. During all this other stuff, he was around 10 years old. He's now 26, and he has a good life, and he has been a blessing to many, many people. He has proved the doctors wrong. He's proved the statistics wrong. And the doctor that was at this hospital is now gone. You know, they ran him off because there were other kids that he killed. And I know it's hard for you to hear me say that, and you're thinking, no, that doesn't happen. That's just on the movies. Folks, I've lived it. I know what happens. So I took my information, all my files, my scans, everything on a disk that we had, anything in a folder we had, and I copied it and sent it to a lawyer. He got the information and said, man, we got a good case here. It's just, you know, this is cut and dry as you get. There's no doubt. They admitted to screwing up the radiation. The clinical trial obviously didn't work, almost killed him, and St. Jude proved he didn't have it. He didn't have cancer. It was a thing called white matter regrowth, which his brain was it was showing signs of spots in the scans, but those spots were actually new cells forming, not cancer. They were new cells. And there's a lot more to it medically that a doctor in this field, in this specialization, can tell you, well, that's called this and that. But at the time, they didn't know everything about it, and St. Jude was on the forefront of this discovery. So that's how they knew. But the hospital that we went to originally, they didn't have a clue. And that's how we almost lost Tyler. So I took the information to I gave it to a lawyer, and again, they, you know, hey, this is great, this is great. 3 weeks later, we're sending your stuff back to you. We can't take your case. So, you know, I was very naive, and I said, oh, okay, you know, all right, send it back. So they sent it back, and I sent it out to another lawyer. Same thing. She was like, oh, we've got a great case. This is awesome. This is open and shut. You know, they're going to settle out of court. This one can go to trial because it's that obvious what happened here. About a month later, we got a phone call. I'm sorry, we can't take your case. We don't have enough blah blah blah. We'll send your stuff back to you. Yeah, I'm starting to get the idea now. Now folks, this happened to me. This wasn't something in a book. This wasn't something on a TV show or a movie. One more lawyer. I tried another lawyer. This guy was in a bigger city in Ohio, and had a bigger name, better name. I sent him the information, and he was super excited to have the case. He was excited. This is a multi-million-dollar case you're looking at. You know, and I'm not settling for myself. I'm settling for Tyler. I want Tyler to have money to live on and not just a government check. I don't want him to be dependent on his $600 a month from the government. You know, I want him to have the best care, the best of everything, right? We all want that for our kids. So the lawyer, he's all giddy with, you know, yeah, we got this. It's going to be great, man. This is a great case, blah, blah, blah. Another month goes by. You guessed it. I get a phone call. He said, "We can't take your case. I'm sorry, there's just not enough here." Well, I got mad. "What do you mean? You know, you told me at the beginning that this was an open shut." "No, sorry. And by the way, we lost your files. We lost all your records. I'm so sorry." Yeah. So you see where this is going. Needless to say, we never did sue, and the hospital won because we never even got to go to court over it. What do you think happened? I know what happened. Let me give you another story here. This is the one I really wanted to share with you to let you know just how crazy things can get and how conspiracies aren't always a theory, but a lot of times there's truth behind them. So I started a charity that would pay back. I wanted to pay back all the love and kindness that other people had given to me. So I formed a 501c3 to help children with cancer and their parents in any way I could. So with this charity, I met a lot of great people. Unfortunately, some of the kids that I got to know and love passed away. You know, you're dealing with pediatric cancer. It's very, very sad. It's very, very hard on anyone volunteering. It was hard on me. I did it for 4 years until I couldn't do it anymore. Some people I met during this process I became friends with, and their son was a lot like Tyler. He had a medulloblastoma, same type of tumor. Went through a lot of the same things. The same doctor, before he ran out of town, killed their son. And I know what you're saying, "Oh, he didn't kill him." I'm here to tell you that the treatment that he got from that doctor killed him. The doctor was responsible for assigning the treatments, and it's what killed him. He did not die of cancer. He died of complications from the treatments, and the doctor, in my opinion, was very responsible. So years went by after this, and this gentleman, the dad of this little boy that had passed away, he reached out to me, and he knew that I had tried to sue, and he wanted to sue also. And he knew what I'd gone through. He went through the same thing. He went through lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, and they all said the same thing. "Man, you got a great case. This is great." And a month later, "No, I'm sorry. We can't take your case." The last lawyer he went to. Now this guy, let me explain this man. He was a hard-working young man, you know, in his early 30s. A hard-working guy, blue-collar guy, country. So he was a very self-reliant person and kind of old-fashioned. So he had a banker's box, you know, those cardboard boxes that you buy folded up and you unfold them, full of files of his sons with discs and everything in it. Well, he had it all in one box. He didn't make copies of everything. Anyway, the box that he gave the lawyer disappeared. So when he went to pick it up, he said, "I'll be there to pick up my stuff." They handed him a folder. He said, "Where's the rest of it?" And they said, "We're sorry, sir, we lost it." He said, "You lost a box of files and records of everything. You lost it. How do you lose a box this big?" "We can't find it. It's just gone." I believe that this was not, you know, this was all part of a plan, a scheme, because his lawsuit was probably would have been more than ours. You're looking at a, you know, multi-million-dollar lawsuit like ours, but probably closer to 10 million. I mean, it was a big lawsuit for this hospital, big lawsuit. And they've had enough of these scares with this doctor that they knew they were going to go down. Another year went by, and I talked to him off and on. I'd already dissolved the charity, so we just talked occasionally. And on Facebook one day, he reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I have made a major breakthrough with these hospitals. Major breakthrough." And I wrote back, and I said, "Well, that's cool. I'm glad somebody did. I'm glad somebody's getting somewhere." He said, "Can I meet with you and we discuss it?" And I said, "Absolutely, you know, especially my time wasn't up yet. It hadn't been 7 years, and if we could possibly go back and revisit this and get money for Tyler, that'd be great. Maybe we could go together. I don't know how this works, but we could figure something out. And he said it'd be great. He said, I'm going to take a day off work next week. Would you go hiking with me? We'll go hiking. The dude never hiked. He knew I hiked. He knew I was a hiker. He knew that I like to hike and I like the outdoors, and he liked to hunt. But his way of, finding a place for us to get together was, let's go hike in the woods, and we can discuss this where we're not around anybody, and we're in private, and we don't have to worry about anything. It's not on the internet. And I said, absolutely. And I told him what day next week, and he said, yeah, that's great. I'll holler at you, and we'll meet up and do some hiking. 2 days later, he was dead. This is not made up. He was in good health. He had just had another baby. He was happy. The cause of death is unknown. His wife called me. This is after the funeral, and she was in tears and, pretty upset, of course. And she said that he did not kill himself, and there was no reason for him to have died. She said, something's going on. Do not believe for a second that these big corporations, including hospitals, care about you. And I tell you this not to scare you, but for you to understand that these conspiracy theories that they throw out, that people are saying, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Oh, you're just imagining things. Oh, that's not true. You better be careful, because it could be you they're coming for. I'm not joking, man. I've seen it happen. You take a little person like us, like me, or like my friend. We're just little people. We're nobodies. We're not politicians. We're not rich. We're not the elite. We're not anything. They'll snuff us out so quick, and then won't even blink an eye. So when you're talking about millions of dollars, your life doesn't matter to them. Now, I don't want this to be depressing. I know it's a hard subject to talk about, and I don't want this to depress you or scare you. This has everything to do with the world around us, and it's always been this way. This is not new. It's been this way since the beginning of time. It's been this way since people have been fighting for money and power and position. I would like to say I hope you enjoyed this video, but you probably didn't enjoy it. But it's maybe something you needed to hear. It's something I don't share very often. Unless you're a close friend of mine, you've not heard this story. Unless you're a relative or a close friend, you've not heard the whole story. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Maybe.